Cutting techniques. Being able to cut different shapes accurately is essential in this technique. Carefully cutting your quilting pieces might take a little more time, but the resulting quilt will be worth the extra time you spend. Cutting technique. Preparing for cutting. Press fabric before cutting them to remove creases. Cut on a firm surface on a self-healing mat. Hold the cutter firmly in the same hand you write with a 45-degree angle with the blade vertical. Hold the ruler in place with the other hand, keeping your fingers away from the edge. When cutting multiple layers of fabric, take care of how many layers you stack, as too many can cause shifting and inaccuracy. Press each fabric with a little spray starch, pressing on the fabric on top of the other to form a firm sandwich. Place the layers carefully on the cutting mat and trim the edge off first. Tips for cutting safety. Place the mat on a firm surface. Always cut away from yourself and keep your fingers away from the edge of the ruler as you cut. Use a sharp blade. Using a dull blade requires more pressure and it can cause the blade to slip. Dispose of all blades carefully, either in the plastic container they came in or taped within a thin card. Tips for cutting accurately. Cut with the blade firmly against the side of the ruler. On the right if you are right-handed, and on the left if you are left-handed. Use the same ruler throughout a project, as a small measurement differences can occur between rulers. When rotary cutting around templates, position the cutter along the template and cut out the shape, taking care that you do not shave thin slivers off the template. Cutting with ruler. Cutting strips. Cutting fabric strips is the first step toward cutting other shapes. Fabric strips can be cut crosswise at right angles to the selvage or lengthwise, which is parallel to the selvage. To cut a crosswise strip, fold the fabric into right side out, with selvage aligned. Place it on the cutting mat with the fold aligning with a horizontal mark on the mat and cut narrow vertical strips to straighten the edge. Now move the ruler to the right and cut a second strip to the desired width. If left-handed, cut from the right side instead of the left. Fabric can be folded more than once for multiple layer cuts. How to cut a lengthwise strip. Cutting fabric this way produces more stable strips because the straight grain is less stretchy than the crosswise grain. Trim off the selvage first and then cut strips to the desired width. Cutting squares. To cut the squares, reposition the ruler to cut them to the desired size. If only one or two squares are needed, this can be cut individually rather than cutting many from a strip. Position a square ruler on one corner of the fabric and make two cuts along two edges of the ruler, making the side slightly bigger than required. Take the cut square and turn it, repositioning the ruler so the cut edges line up with the desired measurement on the ruler. Cut the other two sides of the square so the square is now true. Cutting with templates. Place each template face down on the wrong side on the fabric. If applicable, cut a strip of fabric slightly wider than the template so you don't get too much fabric in the way when cutting with the template. To prevent the template from slipping and sliding over the fabric when you are cutting, cut small pieces of masking or painted tape and roll them up so that it has a double sticking ability, and place them on the right side of the template. Use an appropriate pen and mark the fabric through each dots on the templates. Trim excess fabric. Hold the rotary cutter and cut the fabric around the template. Keep the blade next to the edge of the plastic template. To avoid scratching the edge of the template, don't lift the cutter off the mat until you have finished cutting each edge. Even if you must stop to reposition your hands on a long edge, leave the cutter blade on the mat. Lifting the cutter up and down is what shapes the edge of the template. In the case of rectangles and triangles, in the fold and press method, the template has a complicated shape to cut with a rotary cutter. So, you are going to use the template to trace the edge of the piece with a sharp pencil and then cut with scissors all the way around.